Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to our premiere episode of Rewind the Tape. I am your friendly neighborhood soda, joined by my co-host Ben Bettman Rayner, how are you doing?
Holy hell, I'm excited to talk about this fine piece of art.
Me as well, and joining us as always, the third member of our triad, 50 Shades, Batman.
Holy 50 Shades, Batman!
So I'm so glad I did not do a drinking game for this movie we were about to talk about, Batman in 1966, because if you did a shot for every time they said bat something, I'd be in the hospital right now. And I know people have done it.
Must be a challenge to name everything bat themed while also having all the gadgets bat shaped.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
let me ask you guys this before we deep dive into this. What do you have a favorite bat thing in this movie?
Probably the bat shark repellent. It has to be that one. It really
Damn
does.
you! I really wanted to say that. The same here.
I mean, the bomb is pretty great, but I was like, there's nothing bat specific about that.
What about you, 50?
I'm basic and boring as ever. I like the Batmobile. It's a good looking Batmobile.
Okay. That's fair. I've actually seen a replica of that Batmobile in real life.
Wow.
I think I have too. I think I've seen it driving on the road.
Oh, nice. So, yes, we are here to talk about Batman 1966, which was released on July 30th, 1966, with a budget of $1.5 million and a box office of $3.9 million. When you compare it to today, yeesh.
I mean, it's nothing compared to our
Hey,
modern.
Brennan.
Hey, Brennan.
It's nothing compared to our modern day box office or budgets, but comparatively for the time, that's a lot.
And remember, this was based on the series,
Correct.
right?
So William Dozier wanted to make a big screen film to generate interest in his proposed Batman television series by having the feature in theaters while the first season of the series was rolling before the cameras. The studio refused to do it. Well, 20th Century Fox refused because it would have to cover the entire cost of a movie, while it would only have to share the cost of a TV series. So it ended up actually coming out between season 1 and season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep, and it had a theatrical release. It premiered in Austin, Texas between the first and second seasons of the TV series. It was a moderate success at the box office. The Batboat featured in the film was created by Austin-based company Glassdrawn, whose payment was in having the film premiere in their hometown. In conjunction with the premiere, Gene Boone of Austin, CBS affiliate, interviewed the film's cast, including Lee Merriweather, Cesar Romero, and Adam West. Now, all right, let's get into our overall thoughts of the movie. Like, it's exactly, if you know what Batman 66 is, it lives up to the name. It holds up. It's definitely lives up to the reputation. And it was such a fun watch.
Yeah, I love this Batman. I love the campiness. I love the goofiness.
Oh,
I even like what is it called? The Bat series from the TV show?
the very first episode, yep. Like, I mean, this is how popular the show is. Look at my shirt. It's Darth Vader, but in the Batman logo.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite shirts. Yeah. So what about you, 50? You just finished, you're just like me, you just finished watching it right before we rolled. This is your first time ever seeing this movie.
This is my first time ever seeing it. And I literally, the credits were rolling as I entered the green room. And like I said, first time watching it, I have to say this movie is absolutely stupid. And I love it.
Right? Have you seen the TV series?
No.
Okay, so you've never seen anything with Adam West Batman.
I have played the Adam West Batman themed level of Lego Batman 2 Beyond Gotham.
Great level.
It's a great level.
Never played that game.
Oh, it's fun. It's a bonus level. You have to like go find it, but it's great.
But see, the thing is, that was my only impression up until this point of the 1960s back. I've always heard about it. I've heard people say great things about it, and really, to be honest, all people ever seem to talk about that movie is the shark repellent and the scene with the bomb. That's really the only thing people actually remember about this movie. And watching this movie, it's kind of weird because there's a lot of different stuff happening, a lot of weird stuff.
Definitely a lot of weird stuff, but it does something that, to my knowledge, no other superhero movie has successfully done. Have a cohesive story with more than one villain. It pulls it off.
Whoa.
We're with four villains and 4 A-list villains like that.
I think we did had a movie like that. What about No Way Home?
It was the first, but fair. Yes, I forgot about No Way Home.
It was the first.
It was the first, and for the longest time, the only.
That's fair.
I mean, we can sit here and argue that. I mean, I would argue that Spider-Man Homecoming was able to do that. I would argue Infinity War was able to do that. But, to each his own.
Yeah.
The Captain America movies did that, except 3, I guess. But, I mean, that's a conversation for another time.
And another show.
That's fair. Hold on, just trying to get a live, folks.
We're doing it live.
So, Ben, why don't you throw us our first topic?
Well, what did we all think about the not heroes, Batman and Robin? What do we think about?
Okay, so I mentioned this in the green room, and I'm going to bring it up on here. I love how people like to bitch and whine about how, you could tell it's Clark Kent through the glasses. Well, in this movie, those villains have to be some of the stupidest people ever, because they're literally listening to Bruce Wayne over a radio, and Bruce Wayne's voice is no different than Batman in terms of tone and cadence and delivery. It's like, are you guys dumb?
But it's still part of the movie's charm.
Right.
That sure as hell ain't the biggest problem with this movie.
No.
Not that I consider it a problem, but still, there's just, this movie's just so ridiculous, and you can tell you're not supposed to take it too seriously.
Right.
I mean, this movie opens up with freaking shark repellent. Okay?
And
You're not supposed to. The main plot of the movie revolves around the supervillains using a weapon that dehydrates people into dust and then rehydrates them with water. So, like, you're not supposed to search for too much logic in this movie.
Oh, no, for sure. But it's just, I've seen this movie many times before, but for whatever reason, this is the first time where I've noticed a lot of these things. Like, for example, there is another moment where when Batman and Robin are climbing up the side of the building, if you actually look at Batman real closely, he's not even putting any effort into climbing up. he's just barely touching.
Wait, where are your hands, man? Like, you're just walking.
Oh, it was great.
And I know it's cliche. I know everybody brings it up. But some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes in this movie.
Definitely one of the most quoted lines of the movie.
Yep, and that's saying something.
Yeah. So the basic plot of this movie is the arch-villains of the United Underworld, the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and the Catwoman, combine forces to dispose of Batman and Robin as they launch their fantastic ploy to control the entire world. From a submarine, Penguin and his cohorts hijack a yacht containing a dehydrator which can extract all moisture from humans and reduce them to particles of dust. The evildoers turn the 9 Security Council members in the United World building into 9 vials of multicolored crystals. Batman and Robin track the villains in their Batboat and use Bat-charged missiles to force the submarine to surface, thus rescuing the day. It's an extended episode. Basically, what it is because most of the episodes are like 2-parters. There's an occasional 3-parter. It's basically one of those 2-3-parters just pushed into one.
Yep.
And I didn't want to say the same thing. The definition of insanity is repeating the same mistake over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this didn't do no lesson because even in this, they had a mustache problem. Because if you look, the Joker has his face, has a mustache with his face over it.
Yep.
Riddler refused to shave his mustache for the movie.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things I never picked up on until somebody pointed it out to me when I was younger. I never noticed.
Me neither.
But here's one thing I did notice is in watching it in HD, it's very noticeable in one scene, the prosthetic nose for the Penguin. Because he's getting so worked up in the scene, his face turns red, but the nose stays the same color.
Okay, I have a question for you, Soda, and I need you to be honest. How old were you when you realized the Penguin was played by Mickey from Rocky?
Oh, Scheisen. I know it wasn't right away. I want to say probably around 12, 13 when I first got on the internet.
Okay. I think I was older than that, to be honest with you. Never.
I knew it as a child, but I can't tell you exactly when. Yay. Yeah. All right. So, yes, on to the villains. Now we have the Joker, played by the aforementioned great Cesar Romero, who refuses to shave his mustache. And you know what? He plays this style of Joker perfectly. And this style of Joker is like just a clown. It's just a clown.
Yeah, in the same clown, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he's not homicidal. He's not the chaos maker. He's just a
wants
clown.
to have fun. He just likes to laugh and make fun of people.
Yeah.
Maybe Batman.
Yeah, and he looks the part. Like he looks like a great. He just pulls the Joker off very perfectly. Hey Matt, right back at you. Yeah, and then
I'm also here.
Sorry, Rifty. And then after that, we have the Penguin, played by the aforementioned Burgess Meredith, Mickey Goldmill from the Rocky series. This is one of the things I love about this, especially when it comes to the villains, is they pretty much replicate the comic book look of the time. I'd want to say a good 100%, because Burgess Meredith's Penguin looks and sounds and acts exactly like what you would think of one of the Penguin. In the comics, does all those things, and he does. He looks exactly like him.
Quack, quack, quack.
A little over the top. Great scene. Great scene.
But that's what you like about it.
Great scene. Well, there's the amount that he's saying it, but I mean, it was great scene when he's in the Batcave and he rehydrates the people, and then they disappear again, and the fight's over, and he's just sitting clutching to a ladder.
No,
I don't even get to that.
This Catwoman is Lee Merriweather, right?
Yes. So that's the thing. Like at this point in time, it was Julie Newmar, but however, she had other filming commitments, so they brought in Lee Merriweather for this one-off. She never played Catwoman anywhere else other than in this movie.
I think they had 3 or 4 different Catwomen.
So there's Lee Merriweather. There's the original Julie Newmar, and then there was also Eartha Kitt. So there was 3. 2 for this series.
Brilliant, I tell you.
They were all very, very good in their own right, because they all brought the same type of feel to Catwoman, but with their own little spin on it. And in this one, we get to see Lee Merriweather's Catwoman also do some undercover stuff as Lady Kitka, right?
Some Catwoman-ish stuff.
Very Catwoman-ish, yeah. With the Russian accent and everything. So I mean, like I'm a Julie Newmar stan, but I mean Lee Merriweather did a great job.
I mean, in this movie, you see Catwoman do more Catwoman-y stuff than some of the other
Right, and like she's moving the claws. Like there's a scene where she's as Lady Kitka, but Bruce Wayne is fighting everyone else, and you can see her like she has her claws like, and then she like catches herself and
it's a reflex.
Or when they're looking at the periscope and she's letting out like those cat growls. And of course, the other guy is the audience who just looks over like, what the hell?
And I love the chemistry between Adam and
like even though she is the oddball out in terms of she's never played the role before, like she fits seamlessly in with the other three.
Right.
Yep.
And also, it wasn't a different Riddler than the show.
No. So that's another thing. I was actually about to hop onto that. The Riddler is played by, hands down, my favorite Riddler, Frank Gorshin. Now, there was a second Riddler in this universe. However, it was only for for a couple episodes, I think, in the TV series, played by John Astin, who is the original Gomez Adams on TV.
John Astin's father.
Stepfather, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stepfather, yeah. But yeah, so he did it. He did it a couple times in the TV series. But yeah, Frank Gorshin, man, is perfect as the Riddler, right down to the laugh, the look, the mannerisms. Oh, like
the vein popping out.
Yeah, like whoever takes on the role of the Riddler has an insurmountable task ahead of them to try to top it. Jim Carrey came close, in my opinion, but nobody can top Frank Gorshin.
I was about to say, you can tell that Jim Carrey took elements from Frank
for sure
and put it into. And the only thing that's now spoiler to Batman Forever, we're going to there. Jim Carrey is the best thing in that movie for me.
I agree.
Yeah. He's the only one who realizes what kind of movie he's in.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Schwarzenegger in the Batman and Robin, I guess.
Yeah, but the Riddler works better.
For that tone, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Chill out. It's going to be interesting talking about that.
But yeah, so that's a little bit in the future. Now, another thing about this movie is, like, as everyone knows, the 1966 Batmobile. It's easily one of the most famous TV cars of all time. But this movie also introduced some one-off vehicles. You had the Batboat, you had the Batcopter, and you had the Batcycle with the little sidecar. And the sidecar appeared on an episode of Comic Book Men and got verified as being authentic by Burt Ward himself.
Wow.
Nice.
But as soon as I saw the Batcopter, I have a question. So, like, Batman has an entire mini airport at his disposal. People preparing the Batcopter for flight. So, like, how many people?
That's the thing. Like, this show, the thing about this universe, it plays it off like Batman pretty much has free run of whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's another positive about this movie is he flies in the Batcopter and people are they look up to Batman.
Yeah.
Batman is working openly with the police. Like, a lot of stuff that really wouldn't fly, in a modern Batman movie.
No.
B, real life. So,
yeah, this is good guy Batman.
Yeah.
And I like that part. I miss that part of Batman. Like, I like him working with Gordon. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, he does to an extent. But I mean, like, this is the one that portrays that where they work the most together, for sure, because they're practically at their beck and call, each other's beck and call almost.
Hell, they have a bat phone. One other.
That phone just flashes red. The body of the phone itself flashes red whenever they call them.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, it is pretty interesting how close they are. And for a moment there, I was like, wait a second, does Gordon know his identity? But then the scene kept going. It's like, no, that's right. It was when he came home after being kidnapped. And he goes upstairs, he's partially undressed, and tells him to go wait by the phone. I was like, wait a second, does he know? No, wait, no, he doesn't.
That would have been interesting, though. Way back when, and if you feel that Gordon knew the whole time.
maybe Gordon does know, but he just doesn't want Batman to know.
Well, I know in the Nolan movies he knows at the end. That's the only instance that I can think of at the moment where that is the case, where he knows who Batman is.
But I'm talking to this Gordon. What if this Gordon does know, but
it would make sense.
Like you said earlier, it's so easy to tell that Bruce.
Yeah, it's pretty on the nose. And I mean, like these cops, like he better be a good detective to be commissioner.
Yeah. Speaking of detective, that scene where the four of these guys try to figure out.
They each come up with an answer.
Yeah, each one has a different answer. C is for Catwoman.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like that's another part of this charm. It's like Batman's almost the doctor. He just knows everything.
Yeah,
he rarely has to think about it. He just knows the answer.
He's always thinking the next few steps in his head.
Yep.
But I like that because that's actually the detective part of him from the comic. That's one part that they want.
Yeah, but it would be different if you actually saw him do detecting. But instead, they're driving down, and Robin's like, "Oh, what's that?" He's just like, "Oh, it's this, and these coordinates." I'm like, "How the hell do you know the coordinates?" Like he actually gave the coordinates at one point. I'm like, "Where did you write this down?" Robin who was flying the Batcopter?
Yeah, the Batcopter is on autopilot because Batman is there with a shark pulling his leg. And Robin is climbing upside down on the back, and the Batcopter keeps flying.
I'm like, did they put it on autopilot? Was autopilot a thing in '66? Like,
maybe. Well, if anybody would have technology ahead of everybody else, it's got to be Batman.
And can I say how realistic and real life that shark looked?
Oh, it looked like foam. It was so foam.
But you understand shark, right? You don't need an actual trained shark to bite.
No, but I mean, if you're gonna do that, you could have done something with a little bit more believable than a shark because it's like, where's the blood?
You want to talk about believable? Check out Batman's costume in this movie.
That's true. He's the only Batman to actually use his real physique
to convey the point that he's always angry.
Hey man, it's a great cape and cowl.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, what do you guys think of the gray and blue suit?
That's great. Then is that black or is that blue? Like a dark blue? I thought it was black.
It looked navy blue.
Blackish blue.
I always have a hard time distinguishing the two colors.
Me too.
It's a classic Batman look that fits into this world. Like with live action, we don't see Batman we don't actually see Batman beneath the suit. Whereas this one we do see that he's pretty much an everyday guy. And I kind of like that because it fits in this world.
But the itself is it's a much brighter, colorful type of.
It's more inviting.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the relationship between Batman and really older Robin than from the comic?
So there's a point where I thought for a moment he's a jealous lover. It's when Kitka and Bruce Wayne are on the date and he doesn't want to listen to them, but he sees them making out, and the way he turns it off, it looks like he's a lover that walked in on something he didn't want to see. He came off like a jilted lover in that moment.
Disguised as a decent person, trying to be decent.
Yeah. Very, very weird. But no, again, it's very much that older mentor, young mentee relationship that it's supposed to have. And it is a good it's still the best representation we've had.
Yeah.
On live action.
On screen, it's the only representation. I mean, live action.
O'Donnell.
Sorry, I meant to say only good representation.
Yeah, for sure. It's the only one that truly works.
Yeah.
So much so, Britt Rowan came back from Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW.
Yeah, but if Adam West was still alive, he'd have been there.
Oh. Yeah, that hurts my heart. And by the way, so wouldn't Christopher Reeve?
For sure.
That out there. Either as Jor-El or as Swan, he would have been there, no doubt in my mind.
I wish I could find it, but when Adam West passed away, someone made this great artwork of him just climbing up the building on a rope into heaven. And it was Christopher Reeve Superman holding the rope for him.
I think I've seen
missing from that picture was oh shit, I've been awake too many hours to remember her name, but the original Wonder Woman
Linda
Carter as Wonder Woman standing there waving him goodbye.
No.
That would have made that whole thing perfect in my opinion.
Yeah. You guys are making me sad.
Speaking of which, keep talking. Like I said, we're doing this live. Keep talking.
What did you guys think of Alfred in this movie?
More of him.
What?
Alfred.
Yeah, you said which one? I thought I heard you say which one. There was 4 of them.
What?
In this movie.
Can you hear us?
Me?
Yeah.
Everyone, anything of Alfred in this movie.
Personally, I like this Alfred. He's just as basic as they come. He is the traditional Alfred. Now, do you prefer him or do you prefer Michael Goff?
Celestial Toymaker.
I think I prefer Goff. But there's one scene with this Alfred I found on YouTube where he's mainly toying with a Joker. That brings it really close. I'll send it to you later and make this Alfred look like a sadistic bastard if you ever crossed him.
Oh.
So he would fall more in line with the modern Alfred. Awesome.
But this is what I was searching for.
Oh yeah, the original Trinity.
Oh,
yep.
God, that would have been.
Although for the most part, though, a lot of people when they use those people, they usually swap out Michael Keaton for Adam West. Is the one I normally see.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was what I saw. Then again, when you really think about it, it makes more sense for Adam West because Keaton was. Yeah, people say Keaton's Batman was the 80s. People sometimes tend to forget it was the end of the 80s. Keaton's more of a 90s Batman than an 80s Batman, if anything.
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
so I would say these are the classic ones. These are the Keaton's more of a middle stage.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you. If you were to compare Michael Keaton's Batman with a Superman, who would you pair him with?
It would be Christopher Reeve because believe it or not, they did a movie within 2 years of each other. 87 was Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, and then of course we had Batman 89. So those are the two I would like to see together.
I'll agree with that. How about you, any input?
So, are we doing which Superman would we pair with Michael Keaton's Batman
Yeah.
That's a problem because you got to think what type of Superman would make sense.
Yeah.
For the universe that Keaton's Batman exists in. I think Cavill is a bit of a stretch, but you know what?
Yeah, he's another one that would have popped into mind. Yeah,
I think Tom Welling would actually make the most amount of. I mean,
you know what?
The Metropolis that is seen on Smallville TV show actually would make sense.
It would
to exist in the same universe as Michael Keaton's Batman,
especially in the later Metropolis in the later part of the series, like towards
the show.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, I mean,
I always love to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like. I mean, we talk about heroes, we talk about villains. Does this movie hold up today?
No, it's very much a product of his time.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, a lot of things that they did in this movie wouldn't fly today. A, in the real world, and B, in a Batman movie.
It's fun. It's definitely fun to go back and watch. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, it's not. If it was to be released today with no context, new.
I think the best way I can describe an example of it is the first two Captain America movies, the MCU ones, that is.
Oh, I was gonna say the Red Brown ones from the 70s.
No, the first two Captain America movies in the MCU.
Okay, yeah.
Like you compare the way superheroes were looked at in the 40s, in this context, the 60s,
right,
versus like the mid 2010s in Winter Soldier with everything happening. The world is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So a movie like made this way, where people looked up to Batman, wouldn't make sense for today's context. If, however, I mean, with their track record, I doubt they'll ever do that, but if they were ever planning to do a time capsule type movie and just do a Batman 66 type movie nowadays, I think WandaVision worked. Say what you will. WandaVision worked. And Stranger Things worked.
And they did continue the universe within the last few years. They did do 2 animated movies with Adam West and
but not mainstream, wide release.
No, okay. That's fair.
Features. If they were trying to do something similar to that, I think if enough people were on board with the idea, because it's not for everybody, but if enough people would be on board with the idea, I think a movie like that could work and succeed.
It would definitely have a following for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about
nerds like us?
Exactly, just like us over here, the Northern Entertainment Group. What about you, Ben? Do you think it still holds up? Do you think it holds up?
I think it holds up as a good watch. Can it get made today? No. I think it would get laughed out of a theater pretty quickly.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I know while watching it, it made me want to go back and watch the TV series.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm lucky I own that on Blu-ray.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I bought one of the there was a limited edition box set.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got the a little Batmobile in there, and then everything on Blu-ray. And it's got a whole bunch of bonus features. It tours Ralph Garman's Batman 66 collection. Comes with playing cards.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like $150 at the time. I bought it when it came out. Because they never released a home video at that time.
I might be wrong, and if I am, correct me. But I think Adam West was either rumored to be or was offered a job to play James Bond.
I'd never heard that before.
But it makes a lot of sense.
And he didn't want to do it. And he didn't want to do it because he didn't want Bond to be American.
Makes it, but I mean, to be fair, he pretty much is James Bond in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. This is the best way to describe it is Roger Moore's is Batman by way of Roger Moore's James Bond.
Yeah.
Way earlier than that version of James Bond, but that's a good way to describe it. It definitely has that feel.
This movie...
It's a foreshadowing, but backwards.
Yeah.
For me, this movie still holds. It still hits all the people it's meant to. It knows exactly what it is. It's a fun time watching, and I think that's it.
The only thing I would change about it is maybe I'd shorten it a little bit because it's an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe cut it off like another 10. Cut off another 10.
And like yeah, I think there are just way too many scenarios in this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Movie, it's very, very messy, and always somehow Batman and Robin seem to survive things at the very nick of time. Like a random porpoise just showed up in front of the torpedo. They just happened to crash land into a pile of rubber or foam or whatever. Yeah, way too many Mary Sue type moments. But then again,
it's Batman.
How does Batman survive the stuff he does? He's Batman.
Exactly.
Oh, this was fun. I can't wait to deep dive into more Batman movies.
Oh, of course. And yes, we're going to be doing all of the theatrically released Batman movies. So next week is Batman 89, followed by Batman Returns. We're doing Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah!
Right on. Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, the Christopher Nolan trilogy. And yeah, we weren't doing the Justice League stuff, correct? The Zack Snyder stuff?
Well, the only one I could make an argument about because his name is in the title is Batman v Superman, but
it is a Batman.
Yeah, it is fair. I'd watch it.
I might not know what's wrong with you because it's one of those movies where it's fun to watch with people to make fun of. But you know what I mean.
Right? I know what you mean, and I gladly do it. But yeah, we'll definitely talk more on that later. So, but first, before we get to those Batman 89, any final thoughts, any final words on Batman 1966?
What did you guys think about
I mean, they're going to say, holy guys, we did this.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what did you guys think about the World Council thing?
Very much a product of its time.
Yeah, very much.
That was such a racist representation of Japan if I've ever seen one. Oh my Lord.
Not just Japan. There's also
Japan was the most like.
No, there's a blackface there.
How the hell did I miss that?
The Nigerian representative. That's blackface. I mean, you can clearly recognize that is not the face of a black person. But
how did I miss that?
The thought of them just sitting there, just arguing, not completely blissfully unaware of everything around them. This is how people were made to think that world representatives are solving problems, just sitting at our table yelling at each other. All of them are men, by the way.
And that's not blackface 50.
Are you sure? I mean, it seemed pretty painfully obvious when I saw it.
Well, here I'll show. That's not blackface.
I mean, is there another picture with a close-up on his face? I mean,
actually, believe it or not, it's a little hard to find pictures of these guys.
I looked it up, and or rather, not looked it up. I watched it, and it was.
I must have missed it because
Maybe we'll do that afterwards in the green room. Maybe I'll do a close.
Yeah.
Also, I thought that was kind of funny that after they brought them back, they all switched languages, but they kept the original accents for some reason.
Right. Yeah, and of course, when you're listening to it, like the first time you see them, you could definitely tell some of them were dubbed.
And I like who hit it. I know the conversation is like, should we do it? Should we say anything about this? Between Batman and Robin, and the other one is no one will ever notice, or something like that.
And the way they went on there,
like, maybe this maybe the mixing of the mind will make things better or something like that. But I kind of thought it was funny that the German guy was speaking Hebrew. That was kind of funny to me.
I wonder why.
All right, and on that note, thank you very much for joining us on the pilot episode of Rewind the Tape on our rewind of Batman 1966. Like I said, next week it'll be Batman 1989, the classic starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. 50, will you be joining us for that one? Same time next week.
I hope so. I'm still lucky I was able to join you tonight, but I don't want to give you false hope.
You're welcome on to review any of the Batman movies you're available for. So I'm assuming you will be here for Lego Batman.
Wait, we're doing that one too?
Oh.
Yep.
All the theatrically released Batman movies.
Oh, I gotta be there for that one.
We'll let you know when we schedule it. But until then, 50, where can everybody find you?
Well, you can find me 4 or 5 hours into the most recent taco stand. There's a lot of shenanigans happening there, most of them involving me, but yeah. You can also find me. I finally got myself my own show on this channel, the greatest show in the galaxy, where I talk about my favorite thing in the world ever, Doctor Who, the poster behind Soda. I'm every Saturday with these two wonderful people on Get Sweaty.
Sunday.
I still haven't gotten used to the new date and such, but yeah, you can also find me on my own channel, which is Geek, and yeah, I don't really have anything else to plug at the moment.
All right, and Ben, what about you?
Well, like Randy said, you can find me on Get Sweaty with these guys. You can find me on Northern Online with Jessica Kiwi and Soda Producing. What else am I on lately? I think that's actually it for now. Mountain Showdown is coming back. Be on the lookout for that. The Review promo. And I think that's it for now. I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Oh, yes, and yes. Okay, thank you very much, Galaxy Geeks, for bringing this up before I sign off. Yes, we did see the Batsuit. I love it. They are so faithful to what's going on in the comics right now with that suit. It's spectacular. I cannot wait to see this movie. And I personally hope they do the Oracle storyline with this Batgirl. I would love to see that.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember, other than the Lucio Silverstone, have we ever gotten anything practical live action?
So yes, in 2000, there was a one season TV series called Birds of Prey. That had I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she Dina Meyer. She was in Starship Troopers, the redhead.
Okay.
She played Barbara Gordon as Oracle. And then by the end of the season, she was able to do this chip thing, sound familiar, that makes her walk, and she was able to dress as Batgirl again. And that one was actually, they look pretty similar, those two costumes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I held up comment on that show, and I liked it, but I never went back and watched it.
Yeah. It would be rough, but I would like to at least see them. I would like to see them try it personally. Like when it comes to Barbara Gordon Batgirl, Oracle is my favorite incarnation of it. It's just awesome. Like for me, that's the be all end all of the Watchtower type people.
Yeah, we kind of got that in Smallville and Arrow.
Right.
But we never got Batgirl.
No, but that's my personal favorite one. But yeah, and as for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me Wednesday nights here on this channel, Northern Entertainment Group, on the Squared Slice. You can find me here. Tonight was a one-off on Friday nights. Next week we'll be going back to our regular time slot of Thursday nights for Rewind the Tape. You can also find me over on Saturday afternoons on the Let's Get Ready Network on the Dropkicks on Twitch, where myself and Dagan discuss the weekend events in AEW wrestling and the indie wrestling scene. You can also find me producing Northern Unwind and Let's Talk About Star Wars. And of course, tomorrow afternoon live at 12, we have our new second episode of another one of our new shows, Smowdown Analytics with Double D and Kiwi Jess, where they go back and they right now they're talking about classic matches, and definitely check out tomorrow's. It's got some great classic teams matches.
Before we forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
Exactly. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like us over on Twitter at the Northern Entertainment Group. So on behalf of myself, Ben, and 50, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for Batman 89. So long, folks.